8 lessons. That's all it takes to protect your best retirement years from quietly slipping away. If you're in your late 50s, 60s, or early 70s, let me say this as simply as I can. Retirement is shorter than it looks on paper. You don't just have 20 years. You have a limited window of good years, your go-go years, when your body and mind can still do the things you've been dreaming about. Most people don't realize this until those years are already shrinking. They wait, they worry, they play it too safe. And by the time they finally feel ready, their energy has already started to fade. I don't want that to happen to you. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 8 simple lessons to help you spend your retirement wisely with your money, your time, your health, and your relationships. Let's start with the first one.
Lesson 1. The good years of retirement.
Let's break retirement into 3 seasons. This isn't scientific, it's just how it feels for a lot of folks. The go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. In your go-go years, you can still travel easily. You can climb the steps to the beach house. You can sit in the car for a few hours without feeling wrecked the next day. For many people, that's roughly the first 5 to 10 years after they stop working. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Then come the slow-go years. You can still do things, you can still enjoy life, but you need more rest. You travel closer to home. You pick and choose what you say yes to. And finally, the no-go years. Maybe you're dealing with bigger health issues. You spend more time at home. You rely more on others. Here's the important part. Most of the big dreams people have about retirement, they belong in the go-go years. Walking the streets of a small town in Europe, hiking that trail you've always talked about, taking the grandkids to Disney while you can still keep up, driving cross-country with your spouse just because you finally can. You can't just say, I've got 20 years. You have to ask, how many good years do I have to use my full strength? For many people, it's closer to 500 weeks than 1,000. That's why this matters now.
Lesson 2. Money is really about time and freedom.
Let me say something that might sound a little strange. Money is not just numbers on a statement. It's not just balances and charts. In retirement, money is really about time freedom. It's the ability to wake up when your body is ready, spend the day how you choose, say yes to the things that matter instead of always saying, I wish we could. When you think of money that way, the question changes. It's no longer, how do I die with the biggest pile of money? It becomes, how do I use this money to live the best years while I still can? Now, hear this very clearly. Being careful is good. Running out of money too early is a real risk. You still need a plan, a budget, and some common sense. But many retirees swing too far the other way. They're so scared to spend that they end up trading their healthiest years for a slightly bigger number on a page. Ask yourself a simple deathbed test. When you're 90 or 95, looking back, what will matter more? That you kept an extra $20,000 or $50,000 in an account you never touched? Or that you took that trip with your spouse while you could still walk the shoreline together? Most people, when they reach their late years, don't say, I wish I had saved more instead of visiting my granddaughter. They say, I wish I hadn't waited so long to enjoy the time when my body could still keep up. So use money as a tool. Yes, protect yourself. Yes, be wise. But remember, money is there to support your life, not to trap you in fear. Stay with me here because the next idea builds right on top of this.
Lesson 3. Spend on memories, not just things.
Let's talk about buying things versus buying experiences. A shiny new car, newest phone, big flat-screen TV. They feel good at first, but over time, most of those things just become normal. They sit in the driveway, they sit on the wall, and then eventually they break, or you get used to them, and the joy fades. Now think about an experience. A week at the beach with your kids and grandkids. A simple cabin in the mountains with your spouse. A road trip with an old friend you haven't seen in years. A class you take together to learn something new. Those memories can actually grow in value. 5 or 10 years later, you still talk about them. You still pull out the photos. You still laugh about the small things that went wrong. Objects usually fade in your mind. Experiences often get sweeter over time. So when you're deciding how to spend in retirement, ask yourself, will I remember this in 10 years? Will this matter when I'm 80 or 90? If the answer is yes, that might be money well spent. I'm not saying never buy anything nice. I'm saying tilt the scale toward experiences, especially in your healthy years. Because you can always buy another couch, but you cannot buy back a missed family vacation when everybody was still young and able to go.
Lesson 4. Guard your energy, not just your calendar. Here's another trap many retirees fall into. They say, "I've got plenty of time now," so they think that means they can do everything. But time is not your only limit. Energy is. You can have a whole empty day on the calendar, but if you wake up tired, in pain, or discouraged, that day doesn't feel very open, does it? So instead of just managing time, start managing energy. A few simple ideas. Notice what gives you energy. Maybe it's a morning walk, coffee with a friend, a grandchild's laugh, working with your hands. Notice what consistently drains you. Too much news, certain people who leave you tense and upset, sitting too long, going to bed too late. Begin gently shaping your days around that awareness. Put your most meaningful activities in your best hours. If mornings are when you feel strongest, use those for walking, seeing people, doing hobbies. Save TV, scrolling, or small chores for when you're fading. And remember, your health is like a force multiplier. When you feel even a little better physically and mentally, everything in retirement feels better. Trips feel more doable. Time with grandkids feels more fun. Simple daily life feels lighter. No one needs you to run marathons, but your future self will thank you for every bit of care you give your body now. Good meals, gentle movement, enough sleep, and keeping up with the doctor. And when you feel big emotions, fear, anxiety about money, or regret, remind yourself, strong feelings usually rise and fall within a minute or two. You can notice them, breathe, and then choose how to respond. You have more influence over your day than those first 90 seconds of panic might suggest. Lesson 5. Don't let time speed up on you. Have you ever noticed how, as we get older, the years seem to go faster? Part of the reason is that we slip into routines. The same chair, the same TV shows, the same route to the store, the same conversations. Nothing stands out, so the days blur together. One way to gently slow down your sense of time is to sprinkle in new experiences. They don't all have to be big or expensive. It could be visiting a nearby town you've never explored, trying a new restaurant, taking a class at the community center, going to a local museum, volunteering with a group you don't know yet. The key is this: it should engage your mind in a fresh way. Watching a new TV show doesn't quite do it. Your brain needs something a little more active. If you can, aim for at least one genuinely new experience each month, 12 new experiences a year. Over 10 years, that's 120 little markers on your timeline. Those markers can make your retirement feel fuller, richer, and they help you look back and say, "We really lived those years." Stay with me. We're going to talk about something that quietly makes or breaks retirement: your relationships.
Lesson 6. Invest in people like a relationship bank account. Money isn't the only thing that compounds over time. Relationships do too. Every time you interact with someone, your spouse, your kids, your neighbors, you're making a deposit or a withdrawal. A kind word, a thank you, a phone call just to check in, that's a deposit. Constant criticism, sharp words, always pointing out what's wrong, those are withdrawals. Retirement often gives you more time around the people you love, but it can also increase friction if you're not careful. Suddenly, you're both home more. Routines change. Little annoyances get magnified. So ask yourself, what kind of balance do I have in my relationship bank accounts? With your spouse, with your adult children, with your grandkids, with your friends. Start making small daily deposits, a short text thinking of you, a call once a week, a compliment instead of a complaint, a simple thank you for putting up with me all these years. And don't forget weak ties either. The neighbor you wave to, the folks in your walking group, the lady at the library who always says hello. Those casual connections matter more than most retirees realize. They keep your world bigger. They give you reasons to smile. They can open doors to new experiences. One gentle question for you to think about. Have you seen someone struggle in retirement because they didn't invest in their relationships while they still had the time and energy? You don't have to follow that path.
Lesson 7. Keep growing, even when the paychecks stop. Retirement is not just about stopping work. It's about deciding what kind of person you want to be in this next chapter. You have skills. You have experience. You've learned lessons, some of them the hard way. You can use all of that in new ways. Mentoring younger people in your old field, teaching a class, volunteering at a school, a church, a community center, helping a neighbor fix something you know how to handle. You can also allow yourself to be a beginner again. Pick something where you're not the expert. Learning an instrument, trying watercolor painting, joining a beginner's exercise group, taking a writing class. Give yourself permission to be bad at it for a while. Laugh at yourself. Enjoy the process. This keeps your brain sharp. It keeps your heart humble. And it gives you something to look forward to. Retirement tends to go poorly when every day looks exactly the same, and when you feel like your best days of growth are behind you, but they don't have to be.
Lesson 8. Design retirement on purpose. Don't just drift.
Now, let's pull all of this together. Instead of thinking of retirement as one big fixed plan, think of it as something you test and adjust. Try small experiments. Spend a month living like you're already retired before you actually quit your job, if you still can. See what feels good and what feels empty. Try volunteering somewhere for a season before committing long term. Test living in a new town for a few weeks before moving there for good. These trial runs can save you from big regrets. Also, take a moment to define what success in retirement means to you. Not to your neighbor, not to someone on TV. Is it time with grandkids, peace and quiet with your spouse, travel, serving your community, learning and creating? Write down 2 or 3 things that truly mean a good life to you now. Then, every few months, sit down and do a gentle life review. Ask, what gave me joy these last few months? What drained me? Who did I feel close to? Where did I feel lonely? You're not judging yourself, you're just noticing. Then make 1 or 2 small changes. That's it. Small adjustments made regularly can steer your retirement in a much better direction over the years. And when you're facing a decision, how to spend money, whether to move, how to use your time, look a couple steps ahead. Ask, if I do this, what might life feel like in 5 years? If I don't do this, what might I regret later? That simple look ahead can keep you from choices that feel good in the moment but create pain down the road. Let's bring this home.
Your retirement is not just about how long you live. It's about how you use the best years you have left. You likely have a limited window of strong, healthy, go-go years. Money is a tool to give you time freedom, not a scoreboard. Experiences age better than most objects. Your energy, health, and relationships are worth more than any fancy purchase. You can keep growing, giving, and enjoying new things, even in your 60s and 70s. Small, thoughtful choices, reviewed regularly, can turn these years into some of the richest of your life. Decisions made before and early in retirement are often one-way doors. Once you walk through, it's hard to go back. That's why taking time to think, to plan gently, and to live on purpose is not selfish. It's a form of self-care. And it's a gift to the people who love you. If something in this conversation tugged at you, a trip you've been putting off, a phone call you've been avoiding, a hobby you've always wanted to try, treat that as a little nudge. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just take one small step this week towards spending your limited, precious retirement years on what truly matters. And if you know someone else who's heading into retirement, or already there and a little lost, maybe share these ideas with them. Sometimes one honest, caring conversation is all it takes to change how someone spends the years they can never get back. Remember, you don't have to do retirement perfectly. You just have to do it intentionally. Retirement is short. Spend it wisely, my friend. You've earned that much.